Do you think you know the real Khamzat Chimaev? There's more to this UFC sensation that meets the eye. From the time he got arrested for assaulting a department store employee to the time he flew to Ireland, exclusively to put a beating on Conor McGregor himself, here are 10 facts you didn't know about Khamzat Chimaev. Number 10. He was born in the middle of the war in Chechnya. Khamzat Chimaev's story is a real example of growing up tough. He was born in 1994 in Chechnya, a really harsh place to live in because of the war and conflict at the time. Things got even harder in 1999 when another war hit the area. Living through this as a kid, Chimaev naturally became very strong-minded and tough. A big moment in his early life was a bad fall when he was just 2 years old. He fell down some concrete steps and really hurt his face. He lost a few teeth and broke his nose, which left him with a breathing problem. He can only breathe properly through one side of his nose. This fall also gave him the famous scar on his lip. Number 9. The meaning behind his nickname. Chimaev's nickname, Boers, suits him perfectly, carrying a significant meaning in his native Chechen language. Boers translates to wolf, a symbol often associated with strength, resilience, and a fierce spirit, mirroring the attributes of a wolf. Interestingly, the nickname Boers also has another connotation in Chechen history. It's the name of an improvised submachine gun that first appeared in Chechnya in 1992. This weapon played a notable role in the conflict between Chechnya and Russia that lasted for much of the 1990s. The dual meaning of his nickname reflects both Chimaev's fighting spirit and a nod to the complex history of his homeland. Number 8. Wrestling was his escape. Chimaev's journey into the world of wrestling began in a small village in Russia. Wrestling was a big deal there, and Chimaev started training when he was just 5 years old. As he grew up, Chimaev kept at his training and started competing. His hard work paid off when he won a bronze medal in the Russian Junior Wrestling Championship. But his journey didn't stop in Russia. After moving to Sweden, he stepped up his game. Chimaev competed in the Swedish Wrestling Championships in 2015 and 2016, and he nailed it both times, taking home gold medals. By the end of these tournaments, Chimaev had an impressive undefeated record of 19-0. Number 7. He decided to start MMA while taking a break at work. Chimaev's turn towards MMA was sparked by an unexpected moment. While taking a 15-minute break at his workplace at the time, he witnessed UFC 189 main event fight. He watched how McGregor knocked out Jose Aldo in 16 seconds, and something clicked for him. He thought about how these fighters were making millions and questioned why he couldn't do the same. Believing he had something special as a fighter and a warrior, Chimaev saw this as his call to action. Following this revelation, Chimaev made his move to Stockholm, Sweden, where he began training for his MMA career at the All-Star Training Center. Starting in 2017, his training there has been crucial to his development. At All-Star, Chimaev trains alongside notable figures in the MMA world, including Alexander Gustafsson, Ilir Latifi, and Reza Madadi. The last one in particular plays a significant role as his main trainer. This environment, surrounded by experienced UFC fighters, has been instrumental in shaping Chimaev's MMA skills and guiding his journey in the sport. Number 6. He was convicted of assault. Chimaev found himself in legal trouble in October 2017 while living in the town of Kalmar. The incident unfolded when he and a friend visited a department store. As they were leaving, his friend was accused of stealing headphones. Despite his friend's protests of innocence, a shop employee restrained him. Chimaev, reacting to the situation, rushed over and, as stated in the court case, punched the employee in the mouth. This action caused the employee to fall, resulting in injuries to their leg and jaw. Chimaev defended his actions, claiming he was acting in self-defense. However, several testimonies and footage from the security cameras contradicted his version of events. The court found no grounds for self-defense and ruled it as assault. Chimaev was sentenced to 50 hours of community service and ordered to pay damages of 600 Swedish krona. Number 5. He went untouched in his second UFC fight. Chimaev faced Rhys McKee 10 days after his first fight in the UFC. Chimaev's performance was a showcase of control and skill. He didn't give McKee any opportunity to launch any offensive. McKee, who had garnered some hype from his Cage Warriors performances, found himself outmatched in the octagon. Chimaev's relentless approach meant that McKee couldn't land even a single significant punch. Chimaev ended up landing 68 total strikes, which 62 were significant strikes, versus 0 from McKee. This relentless attack led to a victory by TKO in the first round, with referee Rich Mitchell stepping in to call an end to the fight. Number 4. He once flew all the way to Ireland to beat up Conor McGregor. Chimaev found himself deeply involved in the heated rivalry between Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov. McGregor had stirred controversy by bringing up personal subjects about Khabib, including his religion, his wife, and his Chechen heritage.
The Chechen people know what I'm talking about when I call this man a coward. They were chased from their land. They were chased from their land to the edge of cliffs.
McGregor's comments about the Chechen people and the history of war and destruction in Chechnya struck a chord with Chimaev. At the time, Chimaev was just starting his professional career with a 1-0 record, but he felt compelled to respond to McGregor's words, which he saw as disrespectful to both his country and Khabib. In an interview, he mentioned how McGregor had been talking about knocking out another Chechen fighter in sparring, and saw this as an opportunity to find McGregor in Ireland, either on the street or at a gym, to make him answer for his words. Chimaev actually traveled to Ireland, but upon arriving at the airport, despite him having all the proper documentation, he was informed by authorities that he needed to return to Sweden. However, as he was leaving, he was detained by special forces and taken to a police station where he wasn't questioned at all and held for 8 hours. Chimaev, who admits his English wasn't very good at the time, didn't fully understand what was happening. He was eventually released and driven back to the airport, where he was put on a plane home with no explanation. While some people thought Chimaev was going to Ireland to help McGregor prepare for the fight against Khabib, Chimaev clarified that his intent was to defend their shared honor and pride. Hey, I wonder how this would have played out if he actually got a hold of McGregor. My guess is that McGregor would have gotten beat up pretty good. What do you think? Number 3. He nearly retired early, started off strong, capturing attention right from his debut. He quickly racked up 3 consecutive wins, setting the stage for a high-profile bout against Leon Edwards in December 2020. However, things took an unexpected turn when Chimaev tested positive for COVID-19, forcing him to withdraw from the fight. Despite being ill, Chimaev continued to train, but his condition worsened. He ended up hospitalized for several weeks, suffering from chest pain, high fever, and muscle pain. The fight with Edwards was rescheduled for January, but Chimaev had to pull out again due to ongoing issues from COVID. The situation escalated when, during a return to training, Chimaev started coughing up blood after just 1 round of sparring. This alarming development led him to consider his health and future in the sport. He took to Instagram to announce what seemed like his retirement. In his post, he expressed gratitude to his supporters, his team, and the UFC, stating that he thought he was done with the sport. He mentioned not winning the belt, but emphasized that it wasn't the most important victory in life. His message reflected a deep understanding of his physical and emotional state at the time. However, after months of fully recovering from COVID and getting back to proper training, Chimaev reversed his decision to retire. Number 2. His association with Ramzan Kadyrov. Khamzat is known to be close with Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov. Kadyrov once gave Chimaev a Mercedes-Benz, which he crashed a few months later, by the way. There was also talk that Kadyrov convinced Chimaev to not retire in March 2021 and to come back to Chechnya. This led to some people wondering if Chimaev was forced to make this decision. In 2022, Chimaev started training Kadyrov's teenage sons, Ali and Adam. He was there for Ali's first professional MMA fight, went with him to UFC 280 in Abu Dhabi, and even took him to train in Thailand at Tiger Muay Thai. Chimaev was also around during a live video, where Kadyrov threatened a young person who spoke against his rule. In March 2022, some people from Chechnya criticized Chimaev for still being friendly with Kadyrov, due to the way Kadyrov runs Chechnya. Chimaev got married in Chechnya in May 2022 and Kadyrov was one of the guests at his wedding. Number 1. He does a lot of charity. Chimaev's approach to wealth is grounded in generosity and giving back to the community. This is evident from his actions in Stockholm, where he has been known to distribute clothing to the homeless. Having faced tough times himself, including a period when he was nearly homeless and relied on the kindness of others, Chimaev understands the importance of helping those in need. He carries this philosophy into his interactions with other Dagestani and Chechen fighters who come to the All-Stars gym in Sweden, often with little money for basic necessities. Chimaev believes in the power of helping others, seeing it as a way to make the world a little better. This generous spirit was highlighted during his visit to Las Vegas. Without his knowledge, teammate Guram Kutataladze filmed him assisting a homeless man. Chimaev helped the man cross the street to a McDonald's and bought him food, showcasing his natural inclination to help those less fortunate. Chimaev has expressed that his goal isn't to accumulate wealth for extravagant personal enjoyment, like riding around on yachts. He mentioned that while he wouldn't refuse an offer to join McGregor on his yacht, his personal preference isn't to flaunt wealth. Instead, if he were to make a significant amount of money, his priority would be to use it for good causes and charity work. Which of Khamzat Chimaev facts surprised you the most? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. But that's all for today. See you next time. Till then, remember to protect yourself at all times.